Welcome. My name is Danielle and I'm so glad you're here. Today I have a full-length 60-minute Vinyasa class prepared, and it's really an all-levels class. I offer a lot of options, a lot of modifications, so no matter what your skill level is, you should be able to find something in the pose that works for you. We have an emphasis today on twists and core work, core engagement to really kind of get deeper in those stretches and give yourself a little bit of a balanced challenge. So lots of options, lots of opportunity today. Blocks are optional, never required, but they can be helpful to bring the earth a little closer. So grab what you need, put on some nice music if it's calling to you, and I will meet you on your mats in child's pose, and we will begin. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get right into it. So I will meet you on your mat in child's pose. So we're going to start kneeling. Take your hands out in front of us, walk them forward, sinking that upper body down. Your knees can be together to support your low back, or maybe spread them out a bit wider to get into the hips. Just a little bit deeper of a stretch, a different stretch, but either option. Let's take a few moments here at the beginning to start to tune out the world, tune into our breath, and just closing the eyes, feeling the sensations in our bodies, calming that heart rate down, and bringing that focus to the four corners of our mats. So we've done it. The hardest part is just committing, at least it is for me, to show up on our mat and be fully present. So for these next 60 moments that we're here, your only job is to breathe. As long as you are cultivating a slow, steady breath and meditating on that breath, any movement is optional. Just breathing is required, and that is true yoga. That's what we're here for. So let's seal that focus in with one good intentional breath together. So deep inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And then we will start to move. So on your next inhale, wiggle walk those hands forward, stretch out your shoulders. And on your exhale, walking those hands over to the right, hips sinking back to that left corner of your mat. Your hands can be side by side, or maybe taking the left hand on top, maybe interlocking it between the webbing of the fingers, maybe pulling the left hand back as you slide your right hand forward, get that equal and opposite engagement in the hands. Really feeling those shoulders activate. Maybe pressing the hands back to sink those hips a little bit further. Getting a deep, deep, beautiful stretch on that whole left side of the body. And breathing into that left rib. Can we breathe some space and find length? And release. Walk those hands back through center. Reset your spine, nice and long. And on your next exhale, hands over to the left, hips sinking back to the right. The same shape, just a different side, but same sensations we're looking for, same engagement. Maybe hands are side by side. Maybe that right hand's coming on top. Maybe interlocking between the fingers and pulling back, feeling that right shoulder engage. Maybe walking the left hand forward, the equal and opposite action. And maybe pressing into the hands to push your hips back, feeling space along the whole right side of the body. And a couple of deep, slow breaths here, closing the eyes. Maybe noticing that sensation, that stretch. And committing to be fully present. And then we release. Walk those hands back through center. Reset that spine. And then press into the hands to come up into tabletop pose. So knees under hips, shoulders over your wrists. Toes can be tucked or untucked, but either option. A nice long neutral spine. Navel coming into the spine as well. And on your exhale, drop the belly, pull the heart through for cow. And then exhale, press into the knuckles, into the finger pads, rounding back into cat. And inhale, drop the belly, pull the heart through. And then exhale, rounding back for cat. All right, inhale, pulling the heart through, starting to move with your breath now. Every inhale, pulling the heart forward, dropping that belly a little bit more, navel to spine the whole time, supporting your back. And every exhale, deep rounding, tucking that chin, imagining bringing your ribs to your hip bones. You can get that deep, beautiful arch. And one more time, inhale. And one more exhale. And then coming back through neutral. So navel to spine, shoulders away from the ears. A nice long spine. And on your inhale, your right hand is going to open up, stretching north to south, opening to that right side of the mat. And on your exhale, right hand is going to come behind your left wrist, sliding it through to bring your left elbow, left shoulder down, left temple down. And here we are threading the needle. So the goal here is to press the right hand into the mat, the back of the right hand is pressing down, really feeling your shoulder engage. Your left hand can stay where it is, maybe walking it forward, trying to bring the shoulder down, or maybe walking it back, maybe grabbing your on your low back or maybe your hip, trying to open the shoulders to the side wall. Both beautiful options. But the focus here is pressing into the floor the whole time, trying to open your chest to the left side of the wall and maybe sinking those hips back a bit, getting that stretch and just a different little sensation. And breathing in here at the end. And release. Your right hand grounds back down if you've moved it. Inhale, unwrap, unwind, stretching north to south. And exhale, right hand meets down. Coming back to that neutral tabletop. On your next inhale, left hand opens up, stretching to the left side of your mat. And on your exhale, left hand comes behind the right wrist, palm touches, the back of the palm is touching. Bringing that left shoulder down, left temple down. And again, we're pressing the left arm into the floor to open our chest to the side wall. Your right hand can stay where it is, or you can walk it forward. Maybe trying something different this side, or sticking with the same. We tend to be different side to side. People aren't normally very symmetric. And the athletes, they're probably some of the least symmetric people in their bodies. And that's okay. Just find what's feeling good for you today. And then once you find it, can you find some stillness? One more deep breath here, just starting to wake up those shoulders. And then we release. Right hand plants back down. If you've moved it, inhale, unwrap, unwind, stretching north to south. And then exhale, left hand plants down. Coming into our tabletop. So we're going to walk our hands forward, one handprint, tuck your toes, and then on your inhale, we're going to start to lift those hips up and back, coming into our first downward dog of the day. So it's our first one. Just take a moment here to feel it out. Maybe bending into one knee or the other. Maybe doing a little twist, a little wiggles. This is your yogi freestyle here at the beginning. Just starting to wake up the body a little bit, find what feels good, and really just help reorient yourself in space with your head now below the heart. A couple more breaths to just get those wiggles out. And then we'll come and find a couple of breaths of stillness. So as we're calming, bend your knees as much as you need to get a nice long spine. Then let's focusing with our hands first, pressing into the knuckles, into the fingertips. Inner elbows are shining forward, shoulders away from the ears, and we're pressing into the floor to press that chest away. Maybe imagining your chest coming in towards your thighs. Then when you have that upper body locked in, then we can start to straighten those legs, maybe getting the straight legs, maybe heels touch. But when you start to feel that sensation, yes, we pause. The straight legs is the goal one day, but that long spine is the requirement. That is what we're looking for. And one deep breath here. Open mouth, exhale, side out. All right, then we're going to bend our knees, look to the top of our mats, and pressing into our hands, we're going to tippy toe forward into our first forward fold of the day. Into our ragdoll fold. Yes, so heels are hips width apart. Maybe wiggle the toes a minute, swaying side to side. Hands can stay on the floor or grab opposite elbows. Maybe take your hands in an interlock behind the neck. All beautiful options. I'm going to stick with my elbows. That's what's feeling good for me today. And then just swaying side to side, slight tucking of the chin, feeling that head grow heavy. Maybe rolling some weight into the balls of our feet. Really feel your kneecaps lift, the front of the legs engage. And a few deep breaths into the back of the ribs. With every inhale, can you breathe a little bit deeper? And every exhale, softening it. All right, then we're going to release. Hands come back down on your inhale. Unroll, round it up, roll it up. Chin comes up last. Arms up overhead, palms together. Exhale, arms down by your side. Take a moment here to close the eyes. Connect back in with your heart, with your breath. Why are we here? What are you looking for in this class? And let's find it. Let's bring that focus to front of mind as we start to move. All right, on your next inhale, arms up, palms together, interlock grip, release just those index fingers. And then on your exhale, hips to the left, arms up and over to the right. So we're looking for a beautiful half moon shape here, holding it for just a breath or two, waking up that side body. And then inhale back through center, reset that spine. On your next inhale, lengthen. And then on the exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. So we're trying to keep our hips neutral, shoulders neutral. We're pulling the arms to the side as we're pushing our hips to the left. And release. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms. Draw those shoulder blades down and back. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms sliding up your shins. Exhale, we fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. The knees lower down. Inhale, shift forward and lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, pull the heart through for cobra. And then exhale, fold. Tuck the toes. Push the hips back through child's pose. And then lift the hips to downward facing dog. So that right there is our gentlest flow, our gentlest vinyasa to down dog. We will be adding a little intensity every round, but you're welcome to stay with this one or skip them entirely and just go straight to down dog. Or also, you can also rest in child's pose. All beautiful options. All right, bend the knees, look to the top of your mat, and then tippy toe forward into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up. Chin comes up last, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Reconnect with that breath. Maybe close the eyes. Notice what you're feeling this round. And then we'll do that whole sequence again. So inhale, arms up, palms together, interlock grip, release the index fingers. Exhale, hips to the left, arms up and over to the right. We're just pulling the upper body as we're pushing our hips, stretching the left side of our bodies. And inhale back through center. Reset that spine. On your exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. A soft gaze, soft jaw. We're not gripping with our toes. Can we push our hips a little bit more? Pull that upper body. And release back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, pull the heart up. And inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, heart shining forward. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward, knees raised or lowered. We're going to lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, pull the heart through for cobra. Exhale, fold, tuck the toes, push yourself up through tabletop, then lift the hips to downward facing dog. So just a little bit more intensity that round. We will do one more until we get to our main flow of the class. All right, bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to that breath, maybe closing the eyes, slowing that heart rate back down. And then we move. Inhale, arms up, palms together, interlock grip. Exhale, arms to the right, hips to the left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, arms up and over to the left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms, draw those shoulder blades down and back. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward, shoulders are over your wrists, and then exhale, lower down into chaturanga. Inhale, pull the heart through for cobra or up dog. And then exhale, lift the hips. Make our way to downward facing dog. Coming back to our breath, breath by breath. Finding that length in the spine, softness in the jaw, maybe not gripping with our hands, with our toes. Space and length is the goal. Then bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Slowing that heart rate back down. Closing your eyes for a breath and committing to being fully present in every pose. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So your arms can be at heart center, pressing in, feeling your chest engage, or hands are reaching up, pinky spiraling in. Either option, we're checking in with our knees. We want to be able to see the toes. Knees are parallel. Not grip, maybe wiggle the toes, we're not gripping with them. Can we sit a little bit lower? Maybe reach up a little bit higher. And then release, raise the hips, hands ground down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back, then drop the knees, untuck the toes, setting up for a runner's lunge. So feeling it out for a breath or two. We want our knee over our heel, pressing into the heel, maybe trying to slide the heel back, really feel the back of your leg engage. Also sinking that left hip down, really feeling a stretch in our left hip flexor. Maybe tenting the fingers. If we have blocks, this would be a great place to bring the blocks if you need them. Just finding a length, rolling the shoulder blades down and back. Can we find a little bit more space here and sink those hips a little bit lower? All right, and then we're going to just change our legs. Upper body stays the same. Driving down through our right heel, sink our hips back into a half splits. So our hands are staying here, maybe still tenting, maybe still on blocks, but we're driving that right heel down and back, feeling that engagement in the whole back of that right leg. Maybe finding stillness, maybe taking a moment or two to wiggle it out, really feel the stretch as it changes. I love to wiggle my hips a bit, feel my hamstring stretch. We're shining the heart forward. Can we find length and space? Maybe then hinging here at the end. Softening the head. All right, then we're going to walk the hands forward, bending into that right knee again. And then on your next inhale, open up, hands to knee, shoulder or sky for a little dragonfly twist. So we are reaching up with the upper body and sinking down in those hips. Maybe coming onto the knife edge side of that right foot, opening up our knee a bit, just changing the stretch. Finding softness in space. Maybe reaching over the ear. Maybe going at a diagonal, reaching back. Moving with your breath. With every inhale, if you're moving, can we lift the hips, reach higher? And every exhale, sinking back, reaching those hips lower. One more time. All right, and then inhale, coming back into our regular dragonfly twist. And then planting the hands down, they frame that right foot. Tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee. Right foot steps back, and then we flow our way to downward dog. And a couple of breaths in stillness. Everyone's path to down dog looks different. It may even look different for the same person. Different days, different iterations. It's all the beautiful practice of yoga, the expression of yourself and your bodies in time. So find some gratitude for whatever movement you can make today. And let's add a little bit more. So bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Closing your eyes, coming back to that stillness. Preparing ourselves to balance it out on the other side. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So same checklist here. We're sinking the hips down, lifting the chest up, imagining cow's breath in our spine, a little bit baby back bend. Not gripping with the toes, give them a little wiggle. Knees are parallel, they're even. Can we sit a little bit lower and sit up a little bit higher in the chest? And then release, raise the hips, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift, heart shines forward. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back, drop the knee, untuck the toes, setting up for our runner's lunge on the other side. So feeling it out for a moment here, driving that left heel down, then maybe sliding back, feeling the back of your leg engage, sinking that right hip down, really feeling that stretch in the hip flexors, maybe pressing in on your right toes, pressing in so much that your knee engages and lifts, then dropping that knee back down, just feeling how that changes your stretch. Your hands are tented, maybe on blocks, shoulders away from the ears. Can we grow tall as we sink our hips a little bit more, softening in here at the end? All right, and then we start to drive down through that left heel, pushing the hips back into our half splits. So finding stillness or finding movement, just playing in your bodies. What are you feeling? What are you noticing today? But we're keeping that left foot flexed. That active muscles are going to keep the muscles safer. And we're shoulders away from the ears, a long spine. Find as much length as we can, and then maybe start to hinge in here at the hips, softening the forehead down. And breathing space here at the end. All right, then we drive down through the left heel, walking the hands forward, framing that left foot. And on your inhale, opening up into our dragonfly twist on the other side. So again, we can be keeping the heel and the foot down, driving down, or maybe coming onto the knife edge side of that foot, getting into our left hip a bit more. Either option, we're reaching up, feeling engagement on the left side of the body, pinky spiraling in, maybe lifting the gaze, Maybe you're pressing into the floor so much you can pick up that back leg and drop it back down, just playing, feeling it out. Maybe reaching up over your ears, and then exhale, angling back, moving with your breath for a few rounds. Maybe closing your eyes as you do, just seeing what does it feel like when you take a little bit more stimulus away. All right, one more round, reaching, inhaling, stretching over those shoulders, and then coming back into our regular dragonfly. Left hand comes down and around, framing that left foot. Tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee. Left foot steps back, and we flow our way to downward dog. Couple of rounds of breath and stillness here. Finding a little softness, maybe finding a little bit more length in the spine, bending our knees as much as we need to really feel tall and strong. And then we move. Bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Closing the eyes, coming back to that stillness. And then being prepared to add on just a little bit more intensity this next round. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So we're checking in. Can we sink our hips back and lifting through the sternum? We can stay with this, or to get into more of a twist, on your next inhale, that right hand is going to open up, stretching back as if you're pulling a bow, stretching our arms east to west, imagining our chest working towards parallel with the right side of the mat. If we're going this route, can we sink those hips back a little bit more? And then inhale back through center. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. Staying with this, or if you want to go into that twist, on your next inhale, left hand is opening back as if we're stringing a bow, stretching east to west now on the left side. Softening those hips, trying to keep those hips parallel. They tend to hike side to side. Keep them neutral. And inhale back through center. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, left foot steps back, drop the knee, untuck the toes, setting up for our low crescent lunge here. And on your inhale, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent low lunge. So just a little bit more intensity from that last runner's lunge. But same action here, right leg is sliding back, left hip is sliding forward, pinky spiraling in as they're reaching up. Your arms are active. They're getting that counter engagement. Softening in here, maybe sinking those hips a little bit more. Shoulders are drawing down the back. And breathe. You're welcome to stay here. If you want to go further, on your next inhale, we're going to windmill the arms open to the right side of the mat. Stretching east to west, lifting the heart up as we're sinking those hips down. Working our shoulders parallel to the side wall. Welcome to stay here. If you want to add on a little bit more, take that right knee, left elbow connection. Bring our hands together in a prayer twist. And if we are doing this, our hands are pressing together, feeling our chest engage, but we're also pressing into that knee to twist the chest just a little bit more, maybe lifting our gaze here at the end. And then release. Inhale, unwrap, unwind into a low crescent. Then exhale, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, pick up that back knee, right foot steps back, and flow our way to downward dog. A couple of deep cleansing breaths here. Resetting that spine, bringing that heart rate back down. This is a moving meditation. with 100% effort to 100% stillness. So can we still our breath, still the mind, and prepare ourselves for the other side? All right, so bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump to our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Coming back to stillness. Intentional stillness. And then we balance it out on the right side now. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into that chair pose. So we're sinking the hips back, wiggling the toes, lifting the chest up, staying here. Or if we want to open up, on your next inhale, that left arm reaches back as if we're pulling a bow, stretching our arms east to west, sinking those hips down. Can we find a little softness? Maybe soften the jaw, soften the brow. And then inhale, release, back through center. Sitting down, sitting low, shoulders are down the back. Staying here or opening up on your next inhale to the right side. Stretching those arms, sinking those hips back, lifting the heart. For one more breath. And then release, back through center. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold, lifting those hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back, drop the knees, untuck those toes, setting up for our crescent lunge. And as you're ready, hands to knee, thigh, or sky. So same shape, different side. Left leg is driving down and sliding back, really feeling the whole back of the leg engage. We're intentionally sinking that right hip down, really trying to feel that stretch in the flexors. Pinkies are spiraling in and lifting up. Our arms are working, they're active. Maybe check in with the toes. Can we soften as we sink those hips a little bit more? All right, you're welcome to hold this. Or on your next inhale, we're gonna windmill open, stretching over to the left side of our mat. A couple of deep breaths here. Every inhale, growing taller, twisting a little bit more. Every exhale, sinking those hips a little bit more. We're driving down in the left heel and that left big toe. That full foot is reaching down. You're welcome to stay here. If you want to go a little bit more, go and take that right hand, bring it to that the right elbow to the left knee, coming into our prayer twist. Both hands are pressing in. We're trying to press into that left knee to twist the chest a little bit more. Maybe sinking those hips a little bit more here at the end. And release, unwrap, unwind. And then exhale, hands plant down, tuck the back toes, pick up that knee, left foot steps back, and flow our way to downward dog. And knowing that you're always welcome to skip those vinyasas to down dog. You're always welcome to take rest. The great thing about doing videos instead of a live class is you can pause me whenever you need. If you need a little extra rest. You might even notice my own vinyasas are a little different as I start to fatigue. So if you need to mix it up, there's no judgment. Listen to your body. That is all that you need to do. Let your body speak. All right, one more cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. All right, then we move. Bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Closing the eyes just for a breath. Noticing what you're feeling, what sensations are coming up. And preparing yourself for just a little bit more effort exertion in this next round. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low into our chair pose. So sinking our hips back here, feeling it out for a breath. You're welcome to stay here. You're welcome to pull that bow and twist. If you want to try something a little bit more this round, we're going to keep that prayer bind. So on your inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow coming on the outside of that right knee. And we are pressing into our hands, pressing into that twist, trying to work our shoulders parallel to the right side of our mat. But the more we twist, the more we check in with our hips. Are they level? Are we hiking them up? Can we soften and maybe wiggle those toes? Sink those hips a little bit lower. And then release, coming back through center. Exhale, sit down, sit low again, balancing it out. Lifting the heart, working here. Or starting to go into our twist to the left. So right knee on the outside of that, right elbow to the outside of that left knee. We are pressing the heart away from the earth, sinking those hips, softening the jaw, softening the gaze, and breathing here. And then we release, coming back to center. And then exhale, fold, lift those hips. Feel that release. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, pulling at the hands. Left foot steps back, setting up for our crescent high lunge. So crescent roots driving down through that heel on your inhale, hands to knee, thigh or sky. Same shape, just a little bit more intensity now. If you need to go back down to low crescent, you're welcome to it. Otherwise, we're staying high, staying active. We're driving that left hip down, maybe a little bend in that left leg, making sure we're not locking it out, lifting the heart, staying here. Or if you want to, on your next inhale, windmill the arms open, stretching east to west. Whew. I'm fatiguing myself, so if you're feeling wobbly, that's okay, that's good. That's what we're here for. Lifting the heart, maybe staying here, maybe taking hands to heart center and going in for a little bit of a twist. And softening the jaw, softening the toes, lifting the heart, shoulders away from the ears. Breathing in. And now we are going to release. So from your high crescent, we're going to windmill the arms open, coming into warrior two. So checking in with our roots for a moment. That heel to arch alignment, back of the foot is angled in a little bit, pressing into the knife edge side of that left foot. Working our knee towards 90, but keeping that knee from going past the heel. Rolling the shoulder blades down and back. One deep breath here. And then inhale, right arm goes up and over, reaching back, lifting up, feeling engagement in the whole right side of the body. Softening here. And then maybe straightening that right leg. We're reaching just a little bit more. And then coming back up. Going into triangle pose. So that right leg is straight. We're reaching as much as we can. And then the right hand is coming down for our crescent on the right side. So I like to have my hand pressing into my shin to really feel activation on the right side. You can also bring it down to the floor. Maybe this is where you have a block. All beautiful options. But we're focusing on opening our hips to the side wall, imagining that left hip is going down, really feeling activation on the left side of the body. Pinky spiraling in and reaching up. And deep breath here. Just for one more breath. All right, then we're going to windmill the left hand down, setting up for pyramid pose. So we're going to step that left foot in just a foot or two. Maybe you wanted to come up, really trying to get our hips neutral, parallel to the front, leading with the heart, hinging forward, coming into pyramid pose. So I tend to hyperextend my legs and get a little bit of a bend in that right knee. Long spine here as we're hinging forward. And then when you've gone as far as you can, only then do you start to tuck the chin, surrender the head. And breathing into the whole back side of the body. You might like to have your hands by your framing the foot. I sometimes like to take my hands behind me and push my chest forward a little bit. Just a little bit of different sensation, engagement. Just find what's calling to you. All right, then we're going to walk the hands forward. I'm going to start to put some weight into the right leg, lifting up, coming into a little bit of a standing split. So you're working, that left foot is pointed, that leg is straight, lifting that leg up as high as we can. Trying to keep the hips neutral, tucking that chin. One long breath here. And then gently bending into that right leg, gently bringing that left foot back down into warrior two just for a moment. And then windmill the hands down, pick up that left heel, right foot steps back, and flow our way to downward dog. All right, when we make it to down dog, just slowing that heart rate down, bringing that focus back to that leg, maybe noticing the difference in the right and the left leg. Preparing yourself for that little push on the other side. All right, so bend the knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Closing the eyes for just a breath. Tuning in with that heart rate, that breath. One more big push here. One major flow. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down, sit low for our last little chair pose here. Maybe staying here. You're welcome to just hold it. Maybe opening up to the left or starting to go into that twist. So right elbow comes on the outside of the left knee. Pressing into that knee, feeling those palms against each other, lifting with the heart, sinking those hips back, rolling those shoulder blades down the back. Wiggle those toes just a bit. Can we soften? And release, coming back through center. Exhale, sit down, sit low. Prepare for the other side. So staying center or going into that twist to the right. If we are, we're wiggling those toes. Weight is in the heels. Shoulders are down the back. Softening the jaw. One more breath here. And then release, coming back through center. And then exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, right foot steps back, keeping that knee lifted, setting up for our high crescent. So as you're ready, hands to knee, thigh, or sky for crescent high lunge. And again, if you need to go back, drop that knee, you're welcome to it. If we're staying up, we're feeling it out. Left hip is sliding back, right hip sliding down. Lifting tall. Maybe a gentle bend in that right leg, so it's not locking out that knee. Staying with this. If you want to go further, starting to windmill the arms open, stretching east to west. Shoulders are down the back. Maybe staying here if you want one more little challenge going into that twist. Bringing that right elbow to the outside of that left knee again. Whatever option you're choosing, it is beautiful. It is right as long as it feels right in your body today. One more breath. All right, then we're going to windmill the arms open, coming into warrior two. So heel to arch alignment in the feet. Pressing into the knife edge side of that right foot. Working your knee over your heel, not past it. Shoulders over your hips. Can we grow tall? And settling in the arms. Shoulders are down the back. Gaze is at the tip of your fingers. We're pressing equally in both feet. We tend to kind of just favor that left foot because that's the active one, the prominent one, but we're pressing into that right foot too. They're both working, helping us here. Staying here, or on your next inhale, flipping the left palm, reaching forward and then back, feeling that length in the whole left side. Right hand sliding down your legs, maybe coming behind your back. Really making sure you're not working too much with the right arm. The focus is on the left side of the body. Can we soften? Maybe sink those hips a little bit more. Feel that shake, feel that quake. And straightening the left leg, coming up into our triangle pose. So finding length in the spine, hinging, reaching as much as we can before we start to drop that left hand down. Maybe coming on the shin, maybe on the floor or on a block. Right arm is reaching up, pinky spiraling in, feeling engagement in the whole right side to lift us up as we sink a little bit deeper. Maybe a micro bend in that left knee if you tend to hyperextend. And softening in here for a few breaths. Pressing into the knife edge side of that right leg. Don't forget about it. Both legs are working here. Maybe soften the jaw. The higher you lift your gaze, the harder that balance becomes. And then we release. Windmill that right hand down, pick up that back heel. We're going to step the right foot forward just a foot or two. Setting up for pyramid pose here on the left side. So maybe coming up for a moment, straightening the spine, hips are neutral. Lengthen, shining the heart forward, start to hinge. Bringing the upper body down. Again, micro bend in the knees. Keep your knees safe if you are hyperextend. Shoulders are down the back, maybe softening in. Breathing deeply, really focusing on driving that left hip back. Feel the stretch on the back side of the left body. Maybe a gentle tuck in the chin. Finding a little bit more length, a little bit more space. All right, then we're going to start to bend that left knee, bringing the weight into the left foot, walking the hands forward, a handprint or two. Start to pick up that right leg, coming into our standing splits. So we want to try to keep the hips square with the floor. So this might be your standing splits. That's okay. Just keeping that foot pointed or flexed, either one really, as long as that foot, the ankle is working. Or you might start to lift it higher, but only lift it as high as you can to keep your hips square. If you start to open it up, that's not a standing split. So hip is angled down, then lifting up. Shoulders away from the ears, chin is tucked, softening the gaze. Feel that shake, feel that quake. And then we're going to gently start to bend into that standing leg, bringing the foot down into warrior two for just a breath. Deep breath. And then release. Windmill the hands down. Pick up that back heel. Left foot steps back. And flow your way to downward dog. Couple of breaths here to just celebrate yourself. You did it. That was a big one. A little bit more balancing work, core work to go. And then we'll earn our rest. So one more deep cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Then bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up. Arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by your side. Taking a moment here, close the eyes. Connect back in with that heart. All right, and then we go into our balancing challenge. All right, so inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring the weight into your left leg. Peace sign fingers hooking on to your right big toe. Left hand is coming to your left hip. And as we start to stand, we're going to gently bend that left leg, bringing our right foot up with us into standing big toe pose. So this is the balancing challenge here. This might be enough. We're trying to work tall, shoulders over your hips, shoulders are down the back. Maybe just staying here, or maybe starting to kick that right leg forward, holding on to the toe the whole time. This is also challenging enough. If you have that leg straight, want to go further, start to imagine that chest opening to the left side, reaching that left hand behind you, really driving down through that left big toe. And then the higher you lift your gaze, the harder the challenge becomes. One more breath here. All right, then let's bring our hands back through center. Maybe let go of that right foot. Can we hold it for just a breath? And I can't, and that's okay. We shake it off. All right, then coming back through center, right foot meets left. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, fold. Shifting the weight into that right leg. Left peace sign fingers hooking onto that left big toe. Right hand coming to your right hip. Gentle bend in the right leg. On your inhale, we're going to start to come to standing, holding on to that big toe the whole time. So we're coming up to standing. Shoulders are down the back, growing tall through the waist. That right big toe is nailing down. We're working on our strength and stability in that right foot. So you're welcome to stay here. If you want to go further, start to kick that left leg forward, holding on to that toe. Your arm is working equal and opposite of that leg. A breath or two here, feeling it out. If you want to go further, you can start to release that right hand, reaching back, maybe keeping the gaze down. The higher you lift your gaze, the harder it becomes. But we're pressing equally into both sides of that right foot to really give you those strong roots to root up out of. Maybe twisting, looking over your right shoulder. All right, then coming back through center. Can we hold that left foot up for just a moment? And then release, shaking it out. All right, inhale, arms up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, fold. I'm going to go into a bit of a Padahastasana. So taking our hands, flipping them so that the back of the hands are reaching down, and then we're going to slide them under our feet. So the feet are pressing into our palms, working them all the way to maybe one day your toes are pressing into your wrists. Just take a few breaths here after all that work to just have a nice, gentle stretch. So we're really pressing into the balls of our feet, giving our hands a little bit of a massage, but we're also pulling our upper body down. Elbows are coming out to the sides. Head hangs heavy, swaying side to side. Maybe closing the eyes. Just giving yourself a little gratitude and love right now after all that hard work that you've just done. All right, then we're going to release the hands. Maybe shake them out a bit, shake out those legs. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to wiggle, walk those feet out to mat's width. Then heels are coming in, feet are coming out. So we're going to go into a little bit of a malasana squat here. So depending on your hip flexibility, hip mobility, you might just be sinking your hips back and coming up here. Hands to your hearts. Maybe elbows resting on your knees. This might be your squat. You might have hands on blocks and hinging at the hips, going a little down here. If you have the mobility, you can go all the way down, bringing those hips towards the earth. You could also put a block here underneath your hips. All beautiful options. We're just taking a moment here in our nice little squat, swaying side to side, maybe closing the eyes. If you do have your hands in that prayer connection, elbows connecting with the knees, you're trying to press the palms down towards that perpendicular. You get the bend in the wrists, pressing the knees open, And then lifting up through the heart. And then closing the eyes. Gentle swing, softness. You're almost there to the earth. One more breath or two and you are there to stay. So just recommit. We got this. All right. So if you have any blocks, you can remove them. Bringing our hands down. We're going to go into boat pose. So if you can, mobility challenge, try to not use your hands. The lower you sink your hips, the more you reach forward until all of a sudden you just plop down and bring up those legs. And then we are here in boat pose for a couple of breaths. So this is always a hard pose for me. As teachers, we're not perfect. I have scoliosis, so I have a little bit of imbalance in my spine. So this pose is always hard, but that's okay. It's good for you. We're going to do it. So we're squeezing the legs together. Feet are pointed. Shoulders are down the back. Hands are reaching forward or maybe supporting behind the legs. Either option. Your pinkies are spiraling in if they're reaching, lifting the heart up. Staying with this for a few more breaths, or maybe straightening the legs, bending it back down. Maybe straighten, maybe bending. Maybe one more time straighten. One more time bending. And now as long as you can, as slowly as you can, we're going to start to release down, coming into Savasana pose. All right. We have made it here. If you are done for the day and you just want an extra long Savasana, you're welcome to set up for it. Otherwise, you can do a little bit of twisting. So first, adjusting your shoulders, shoulder blades down the back. Legs are extending straight. So you can just stay here in waterfall pose. It's a nice, beautiful, juicy pose. Feeling the weight of your legs pressing that low spine, the sacrum into the earth. So you can stay with this or take that right leg, bending the knee, bringing that right foot on top of the left knee. Hands are going to come through your legs and grab on to the left shin. And then flexing that left foot, pulling that knee in, really imagining driving that right hip down. Shoulders away from the ears, softening the jaw. Can we pull that knee in a little bit more? Maybe some deep belly breaths here. Feel that difference in the spine. And then staying with this, or if you want to go into a little bit of a twist, legs stay where they are. We're just going to topple them over to the left side of the mat. Right arm reaches out. Your left hand can also reach out or grab onto that knee, either pulling it in or pushing it out. I always love pushing it out and then kind of sliding down, grabbing my foot. I just love that stretch in the left hips. Maybe gaze is over your right. Maybe gaze is over your left. Just finding what feels good for you. If you really want to stretch both legs, you can take your right hand down, reach for your left foot, and kind of pull them down. That's another one to kind of get in the stretch in the left quads. All beautiful options. Just a couple of moments here to explore, play, see what feels right for you today. Maybe focusing on your right shoulder, really trying to draw it down, that shoulder blade coming into the earth. One more breath here. And release, coming back through center, using that core, bringing your legs back up into that waterfall pose. And again, staying with this, or taking that left leg, bending the knee, left foot on top of the right knee. Hands coming through, grabbing onto that left, just underneath the right knee, sorry. And then flexing both feet. Both feet are working, pulling that knee in. Really bringing that awareness in that left hip, trying to draw that left hip down. Full spine on the floor. Can we roll the shoulders down and back? Maybe tugging the chin. Can you feel that sacrum, your low spine, as it's getting into the earth? Deep belly breaths. All right, staying here, or taking those legs, keeping them as they are, just toppling them over to the right. Let's see, left hand is out to the side like a T. Right hand can also stretch out or grab onto the left knee, pulling the knee in, or pushing the knee out, maybe grabbing onto the left foot. And then you can do the same thing this side or try something different. And again, we aren't symmetrical. Most of us aren't. And so if you need something different on either side, that is okay. This is your hour to listen to your body. Find what it needs. So a few more breaths. Can we soften in? Give ourselves just a little bit more love and gratitude for all the beautiful work we've done today. All right, then we release. Using our core, can we use that core to bring our legs back in through center and straightening the legs for a waterfall for one more moment. Maybe staying with this, maybe taking the knees, giving ourselves a big bear hug, keeping those legs side by side. Can we pull the knees in? Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then release. Arms come back out to the sides. Legs go long into our Savasana pose. So heels flop in, feet flop out. For traditional, if you need some low back support, you can take your feet mats width and then topple the knees in, resting in on each other. That typically feels better for me most days. Or taking whatever variation of Savasana is calling to you today. There is no right or wrong answer. Just take whatever form will allow you to find 100% relaxation. So maybe as you're settling in here, before you go too deep into it, doing a little body scan, softening the toes, softening the legs, the kneecaps, feeling your hips growing heavy, sinking in, softening the fingers, your elbows are heavy, shoulders growing heavy, softening the jaw, softening the brow. With every inhale, feeling that breath as it spirals down, reaching your fingers and toes. And every exhale, feel it pulling back through and out, taking some of that tension you're holding along with it. And then I'll leave you in a few moments of utter stillness and beautiful silence. All right, if Savasana is calling to you, you're welcome to stay a little longer. If you'd like to be guided out, start to invite some movement into your fingers and toes. Nice little wiggle here, waking them up, keeping your eyes closed to keep the sensation to a minimum at the start. And starting to rotate the wrists, rotate the ankles. Maybe bringing the arms up overhead for a big good morning stretch, squeezing and stretching your whole body. And then gently rolling over to your right side. Pausing for a moment, letting your spine come back to neutral. keeping those eyes closed just a little bit more. And then starting to press yourself up, coming into a comfortable seat. Maybe cross-leg, half lotus, full lotus. Just wanting to grow tall through the spine. Hands can be resting at your knees or maybe coming into heart center for just a moment. And then bowing here, bringing that awareness to your heart. So for everything that you have shared today on the mat, we all benefit off of the mat. For giving yourself love and kindness, it cultivates that skill to share more kindness in the world. And so for that, we all benefit. So I am proud and honored of all the work that you have done. And until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace. Thank you, and until next time.